Alright, here's video slideshow number 3. We're going to be working on the top of the hood, so I thought I'd show you a picture of what the front end looks like with the grill and everything in it. Top line represents where I'm going to fold this edge over. Use that again with probably a pair of crescent wrenches. Got that level with the body line. What I'm doing here, taking some contour gauges and making patterns, taking patterns off of the stock hood so I could transfer it on to some wood so I can make me a buck to build my hood top. I've got one center section and 3 stations along the way to give me a good idea of how to build this. Laid tape along the sides so when I lay my paper on top and start folding the paper up, it'll kind of help hold it up in position. Okay, here's the paper on top. I've got pulled the tucks up and taped them, so I've got a good pattern. Lay it on a flat piece of aluminum. I've made there's a highlight line you can see marked there where I'm going to shrink that up. The front center, I'm going to deal with that later, so I just cut that out. There's half the hood done. This is our Polmax down to school. I made my own shrinking die that we use down to school, and we're shrinking up the sides of the hood here. Alright, got it upside down on the table, looking at it. You can sit it up on the hood. We've got to do some more twisting and pushing around. We've also got to get it lined up with the cowl, so I'm starting to trim and fit that, and each picture you can see is getting closer and closer to the front there, lining up. As you look at the picture right now, the hood's sitting pretty much stock height, as if it was on a regular car, fairly high. What I'm going to end up doing was taking a little more out of the front to kind of pie cut the hood. I went on the inside here, kind of from up underneath and marked the line, so then I pulled that off, cut off the excess, and I'm pulling it over with the crescent wrench. Now you can see how much I've kind of pie cut that front. I think that's going to help me be able to look out over the hood a little easier and see where I'm going when I'm traveling down the road. So, alright, dealing with the front section, I'm going to take a piece of aluminum, bend it in the sheet metal brake, grab it with the shrinkers on both sides to give it a slight curve, lay that in, weld it up with a TIG welder. Alright, took a hammer and kind of hammered along that top of the hood line to help tie it into the body line of the door. Here's half the hood, metal finished. The other half, get my file there and pick and file and metal finish that in two. When I finished, I finished it with an 80 grit DA and set that up on there, and looking pretty good. Feeling pretty good about it. It's fitting good on the hood. Alright, I've made some hat channels to build an inner structure. I don't have any pictures of that, but here's shows you it's in. I've also made some solid pieces there. My hinges, I tapped and threaded them. They're stock 37 Willys hinges. Decided to put some louvers on the side to let more air in for the radiator that's going to go in there. This is in the Polmax again, cutting my louvers in, kind of staggered them back. In 41 they had stock chrome strips that kind of went there, and I was going to paint and polish these, paint the truck and polish these, but I decided they'd have to be perfect, so I didn't do that. Here I'm welding up the inner structure, getting the hood welded up. Here I'm going to work on the trunk latch. It's nice because there's no motor in there. I could climb right inside and close the hood over my head, and I could see exactly what I needed to put this together. Alright, from here I'm going to take my truck home. I'm going to start working on it at home. A couple pictures before we left. Alright, this is a Brinks armored car that I bought from Brinks. That's got an Allison transmission and a Cummins diesel motor in it. It was fairly rebuilt recently, so anyway, that's what I'm going to put in the truck here. I came up from underneath and put the motor up without having to pull the cab or anything off. I've got it up in, got kind of the steering locked in there. Starting to build a dog house to cover the motor. I'm working on that. The radiator up front, I used it out of the armored car, so it's very big, keeps it good and cool. This is the intercooler. I had to change the outlets from straight out to come off the side to fit on in the way I'm going to be using it on this truck. So that's a step in there. Here's, I've got my piece of pipe at the bead roller. This is for the intercooler, the air lines for that. Tigging it up, tack welding, tigging things up. There's how that looks coming off the intercooler. And with the fender off, you can see the other lines coming down and hid. This is a 4-inch donut that I bought, so I cut it in half. This will get my exhaust out. I'm trying to keep things small and compact so I can keep as much room inside the cab as possible. Got it all welded up and ready to go there. Back working on the engine cover, get things sealed up. Anyway, got lots more to come, guys, so just keep watching. I'll keep putting these together for you. Again, thanks for watching, guys.